Hey, and welcome to another episode of Hair Talks on the Street, where we talk about anything and everything about hair. And today, we're going to be asking people what they know about hair transplants. Let's go. Okay, so maybe we start off with an introduction. Maybe you guys can tell me a bit about yourselves.
Okay, I'm Myra. My name's Myra. We're from Greece. We're here 4 years.
And Dimitris.
I'm Rocky. I'm actually from Manila, visiting here for work and for some holiday.
My name's Hiroya. I'm also from Manila.
I'm Pragya and I'm from India. We are here to explore Singapore.
I'm Ankit from India.
So the first question is, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear about hair transplants?
Aging, basically. So it will come to a point wherein you actually need to consider it because you can see it physically happening and kind of hits, hard home during this time of my, life here.
It's actually the same thing, aging, because at one point you kind of have to. I mean, for men especially, I think there's male pattern baldness. So we get that at a certain age usually, depending on genes. So it's actually just normal.
I think for men it has become a bit more common. In the past it used to be like a taboo to discuss about it, but now I think men discuss about it. They go and do hair transplant. In my opinion, that's good, because if something makes you feel better, why not? And you want to do it.
It shouldn't be a taboo. Why not?
Yeah, I think so as
For
well.
women, you get all these plastic surgeries now, and Botox and things like that. People try to improve their image, and why not?
A little expensive surgery or something kind of that.
And a very lengthy procedure. Like you have to give a lot of time for it to, actually work.
Okay, so my next question is, do you know anyone who has had a hair transplant? Friends or celebrities?
Yes, friends.
Yeah, friend.
Oh, so it's quite common now.
Yeah. The operation, I think 3 times. The first 2 didn't work that well,
Okay.
so third one really works. So he's happy.
So it's 3rd time's the charm.
More confident, definitely more confident.
I love that for him.
Not personally, but I do see a lot of celebrities like in the Philippines who are kind of open to it. Obviously, maybe sponsored, but I think it's more public right now, that it's really part of like just keeping yourself, young, presentable, especially in that field.
I have a couple friends who've had them, but yeah, like older
friends out there.
No, older friends. And celebrities, yeah, I see it very common actually with celebrities. And again, as you said, possibly sponsored, most likely.
A couple of friends of mine have already done that, but it took like them for 7 to 8 weeks or maybe more than 3 months for someone to recover it from that surgery.
Okay, do you mind my asking? Your friends are around what age?
Around my age, around 25 to 30.
So young. Okay, so the next question is, how much do you think a hair transplant would cost in Singapore?
In Singapore,
Back there in India, it would probably cost you around 50,000 INR. So I don't know how. Yes,
Convert?
back there in India, it's approximately about $750 to $800 Singapore dollar.
Oh, I see. So the price difference is actually quite big. So here you would be able to find, like on average, I guess maybe 8,000 to 10,000 Sing dollar.
Okay.
but I'm not, sure about how much they cover.
Right. Okay.
A full
So-
head or a little portion. I am not
Yes,
Sure about
I'm
that.
not sure about that.
Okay.
I have very little idea on being Filipino, so not too familiar, but I would guess 5,000, 7,000 Sing dollars for a session. As I know it's gonna be like, a period of like several other sessions, but maybe around that.
I think I might be delusional, but I was actually thinking around like maybe 1,000 at most per session.
Singapore probably is a bit more expensive than
Euro?
it cost our friend.
Yeah, around $10,000. I don't know. Just a guess.
More than that, I would say.
Guess.
More than 15,000.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
So it goes up to 20.
Yes.
And it depends also on the area and how.
Yeah, correct. So that's exactly it, actually. You'll be paying per graft, so it really depends on how much area the doctor has to cover.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
cost, I guess, depends on that, right?
Yes, correct. And then on top of that, there's like added expenses for like anesthesia and the medications and etc. etc. So next question is, would you consider getting a hair transplant if you experience hair loss in the future? Why or why not?
I think it's a possibility. I think even though it's grafting, it's still non-invasive. From what I know, the healing period seems to be manageable. So I think it's pretty mid-risk, if I will to put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, same actually. No, for me, I think I would guarantee that I would definitely get it if I get hair loss because it runs in my family. So I think I would have to. It's like the equivalent of like, I guess, our makeup for men, right? So like that's how I view it anyways. So definitely will have to at one point actually.
Maybe, but I'm not sure about that.
Okay, I wouldn't want to do that to myself. I have good hair. I wouldn't even want my hairline to recede or anything. I take really good care. Like back there in India, people really do take good care of their hair.
I can actually see that.
Like people put a lot of oiling and everything, and they, you know, like regular spas and everything. So they really try to maintain what they have.
For me as a woman and as someone that has a lot of hair, I don't know. But maybe if something, a medical condition, yeah, why not? But I don't know if a hair transplant works when you have a medical condition, so I cannot really answer.
Personally, I'm at an age that if I further lose my hair, I will just, do a buzz cut and get over with that. I think for so many hours in the effort, sitting for 8 hours and have this transplant, probably not.
Actually, this is the last question. So, what do you think is the most challenging part of undergoing a hair transplant?
At least personally, acceptance is there, so it wouldn't be too hard to hurdle. Money, well, it's another thing. But, once you take the leap, I think it's just the recovery, the basic fears of like infection, basic fears of, maybe it's not to the expectation that I want it to be. So you'd feel that whatever you've invested is not really worth it. But otherwise, quite open to it. And I think there's high success rate.
For me, at least from how I see the shame, I think some people
It's
are
mental
it's a mental thing for me personally. I think some people are still shameful that they have to, but I mean, I think it should be normal because like, come on, it's like constantly gonna happen to us, and like at one point you will lose hair. So I mean, my hair is thinning already, and I'm quite So I think for me it would be the mental part, the shame, the having to go through and explain to people like, oh my God, you suddenly have a full stack of hair. What happened?
I think for me would be the recovery period, this awkward phase where you have all the scars, and I see that people going to Turkey, coming back in the plane, and you see like 10 people in a row with their hairs, with their heads, with bands and everything. So yeah, probably that's the most awkward. You want to feel you have hair again as soon as possible, I guess.
I think it could be probably mentally, like to actually think that I am going to undergo this process, and I, have to have a very strong willpower to do it. because mostly people around you, they're like, I don't know about here, but mostly people back there, it's a very taboo concept. Like once you do it, everybody will start pointing out that. So
No, I get that. I think a lot of people still feel that way about hair transplants. In Singapore, though, it's becoming more and more open. But
yeah.
so I think that's why also we've decided to create content like this to bring awareness, because sometimes people lose hair because of genetics, so you can't help it. Or it could be like from post-pregnancy or other medical conditions. Okay, so that actually concludes today's episode. If you guys want to see the content later, we will be posting it on our social media. So you can take a look at our Instagram. And that's it for today's episode. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye!